Namaskar. We'll start with the prayer. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmain Sri Gurave Namaha, Tasmain Sri Gurave Namaha. With due respect to Swami Kualananji and all my friends, I welcome all. We are performing 75 crores of Surya Namaskar on the occasion of celebration of 75th Independence Day. Now, Surya Namaskar, it was also propagated by a great Sant, Ramdas Swami, with the view that the human being should become physically and mentally fit. But when we say we should do Surya Namaskar, people ignore it. Oh, what is this? But if somebody comes and says, yes, we will perform sun salutation, then everybody is ready. So what is sun salutation? It is nothing but Surya Namaskar. Now, these are the different steps of the Surya Namaskar. While practicing Surya Namaskar, you have to chant these mantras. They are given in Marathi and also in English. Now, what are the effects of Surya Namaskar on human body in general and muscles in particular? Our human body has got plenty of muscles all over body. And these muscles, they have got inherent property of muscle tone. While resting, sleeping, whole body and the joints, they relax and muscles are slightly stretched. Muscle tone is degree of minimum contraction present in the muscle at the rest. Some muscle fibers, they are always alert. They are in steady tension. And that is why, in spite of this tone, muscle doesn't become fatigued. And there is a negligible rise in muscle metabolism. Now this muscle, if the nerve supply is cut, it becomes totally paralyzed. But when muscle has got nerve supply, it is always toned up. Now this muscle tone is a prerequisite for normal muscle activity. Adequate muscle tone maintains position of the limb. Suppose you take a heap of flesh and you put it on table, it will either tilt on one side because of the weight. But the flesh in our body, the muscles in our body, they try to maintain the position of the hand because they are in tone. Now, anterior-abdominal wall, it has also, muscles has got a very good tone. Inside the anterior-abdomen and inside the abdomen, there are liver, spleen, gallbladder, kidneys, then all intestines. If after lunch or dinner, it must be weighing about 8 to 10 kg. Now, all these viscera, it has to protect, it has to support, which is possible if the muscle tone of the anterior abdominal wall is good. Now, this muscle tone provides the base level for muscle contraction on which the active movements are superimposed. I'll just give an example. There is a military base, and suppose there are 1,000 military personnel into that camp. So 900 people, they are relaxing because there is no active work to be done. But 100 personnel, they are on duty. They are alert. They are toned up. Suppose some threat comes, immediately they go into action and they tell 900 personnel who are relaxing to come on, get ready. There is a threat. We have to fight. So the initial action is started by these 100 alert personnel. Similarly, the muscle tone, suppose you take one muscle, the biceps muscle, there are lakhs and lakhs of fibers. Suppose you take it granted for, suppose there are 1 lakh fibers. So 80,000-90,000 fibers, they are relaxing when you are relaxing, and only 10,000 fibers, they are alert, toned up. Now, moment you give order to your hand that you have to raise the hand up, these 10,000 fibers, they contract, they initiate the action of lifting the arm, and by the time the remaining 90,000 fibers, they get alert and the action of lifting your hand is done properly. So this muscle tone is required for initiation of the action in each muscle. Now muscle tone of the muscles of the blood vessel wall, they also help in propagating or pumping the blood to the different parts of the body, because it's at cell level, it squeezes blood out of capillaries to the veins. In our body, this is our skeleton. There are multiple bones. In between each two bones, there is a joint. Means there is a space between the two ends of the bone. Now this is a knee joint. There's a space between the two ends of the bone. So when I bend my knee, this end doesn't rub against this and I don't get any pain. But when this space reduces, this end rubs against this and I get pain. Why I get pain? Because the space has reduced. Now who maintains the space? The muscles around the knee joint. They are toned up, they contract, and they pull two ends of the bone apart and the space is maintained. You might ask me how many muscles are there? This is a thigh bone. All muscles have been removed and here all muscles are there. If you start counting from up to down, at least 10, 15 here, 10, 15 on backside, when all these muscles are functioning properly, toned up, they maintain the space between the two ends of the bone and you don't get any joint pain. Similarly, this is the vertebral column made up of one vertebrae above the other like a pyramid. In between two vertebrae, there is a space which is occupied by the disc, and this is the spinal cord. From each segment, the nerve comes out like this and it supplies to the different parts of the body. Suppose this space between two vertebrae gets reduced, what will happen? Because the space has reduced here, the nerve coming out from here is compressed. That is why you get a backache over here. And the area of the body which is supplied by this particular nerve, you get tingling numbness. So if you don't want to have any of this sort, the space between the two vertebrae should be proper. And that is maintained by different steps in Surya Namaskar. This is the vertebral column. If it is flexible, the spinal cord inside the vertebral column and the nerves coming out from them, they will be flexible. So they will be able to give the messages from brain to the muscles in a proper way. Now this skeleton is hung up here with a string. Suppose I cut this, what will happen? This will fall down and make a heap of it. Same skeleton, everybody of us has got. Suppose if I want to keep my hand up like this, I can keep it. Why? Because the muscles around it, they are toned up and they are holding the hand up. If the muscles are not toned up, what will happen? My hand will fall down. So to strengthen the muscles, improve the tone of the muscle, we do Surya Namaskar. Now by practicing Surya Namaskar, the tone of the muscle and ligaments improves. It gives the proper distance between the two ends of the bones so that there is no joint pain. The length of the muscle slightly increases, but tension does not increase. There is a sustained contraction of the muscle. So there is no resistance against contraction. So energy expenditure is minimum. It improves the flexibility, prevents the rigidity of the body, and increases stamina and endurance. It improves artery and veins arcade functioning in the muscle, which increases blood flow. It helps to drain the metabolites like lactic acid and reduces fatigue. Now, these are the muscles. If you go to the single muscle, this is the artery which supplies pure blood to the muscle. And this is the vein which collects the impure blood from the muscle. Suppose you go to the still deeper, you will find this is the arteriovenous arcade, the branches of the arteries and the tributaries of the vein. And this is the main artery entering into the muscle, supplying the blood. And this is the main vein which is collecting the impure blood from the muscle and taking away from the muscle. Now still go to the cellular level. Now the blood from artery comes over here. It supplies the carbohydrate, protein, fats, nutrients, minerals, and oxygen to the cell and collects the waste matter, which is the end product of the metabolism occurring in that cell, and carbon dioxide. Now all these things are collected by this, so the blood becomes impure over here and it is taken this way to the heart, from where it goes for the purification at the different places. Now, when you're practicing asanas, when the sustained contraction is given, the pressure is felt by artery as well as vein. But artery has got a strong wall, elastic wall, tough wall, but vein has got a very weak wall. So when muscle contracts, the pressure is borne by the vein. It gets compressed. And what will happen? When vein gets compressed, the blood is pushed ahead out of the cell, out of the muscle towards the heart. So that is how. Suppose when you are walking, if you walk for a long time, what happens? After some time, what you say? Oh, I'm tired. I'm getting cramps in my calf and I will sit down. You sit down for 5-10 minutes. After 10 minutes, what you say? Okay, now I can walk. What happened? When you are walking, the lactic acid is generated into the cell, and when it gets collected, you get cramps. When you sit for 10 minutes, because of the sitting 10 minutes, the lactic acid which was collected into the muscle is washed out slowly through the impure vessel. And when the level of the lactic acid goes down, you said, okay, now I'm feeling better. So if you are practicing Surya Namaskar every day, the arteriovenous arcade in all the muscles, because of the sustenance, contraction, and relaxation, it will be active, elastic, and properly functioning. So whatever lactic acid is generated, it will not be getting collected over there, and you will not feel tired. So this benefit you get by practicing Surya Namaskar. Now this Surya Namaskar, it has got a complementary steps in Surya Namaskar. It prevents overstretching of any one group of muscles. It helps to maintain the tone of different groups of muscles without getting fatigue. Now, suppose you are sitting in front of the computer for 8 hours. What has happened? Continuously, these side muscles are stretched for 5 to 6 hours, and these side muscles are contracted. So after 6-7 hours, when your job is over, then you start to get up. What happened? These muscles which are stretched for 6-7 hours, they refuse to contract properly, and that is why you get back pain. Now these muscles are stretched and these muscles are contracted. Now we'll see how the complementary steps are there into the Surya Namaskar. Before that, one more thing I would like to add. This is done with the help of breathing. So Purak is the taking in a long breath. Rechak is a living out a long breath. Kumbhak is holding the breath. If it is after inhalation, it is called Antar Kumbhak. If it is after exhalation, it is called Bahya Kumbhak. Now, these things are used while practicing Surya Namaskar. The first step is Namaskarasana. Here you are standing comfortably. You are not breathing. You are holding the breath. It helps to maintain the balance of the body. Second step is the Hastosthanasana or Hastottanasana. Here you have taken both the arms up, you have bent backward. So the muscles on this side, they are totally stretched, and the muscles on this side, they are contracted. And this is done in Purak. So you have inhaled a lot of air and you have stretched this side of the chest. So the alveoli on this side, they get more oxygen, and more alveoli are open, and your lung capacity increases. So it strengthens the chest muscles, which in turn help in the respiration. Now next is the Padasthanasana or Hastapadasana, where you are totally bent backward. Now here what has happened? These muscles were totally stretched. Now in this asana, what has happened? They are totally contracted. Here, these sides were totally contracted. Here, they are totally stretched. And your head is down. So this helps, makes the waist and spine flexible, is beneficial for functioning of the liver. It reduces fat around the abdomen and waist and helps the balance in the body. And because your head is down, brain gets better blood supply and you become fresh. Next is the Ashwasanchalanasana. Here you are stretched this side. So all these muscles on this side, they are contracting. On this side, they are stretched. And you have taken your knee towards chest and pressing against chest. And you are breathing in. So again, this side alveoli, they are getting stretched up and more air is going in. So this side alveoli are opened up. So that is how it helps to improve the lung capacity. It strengthens the muscles of the leg, back, and neck. Santulanasana or Chaturanga Dandasana. Here you are balancing your body on both arms and foot. So, and this is done in Recha. So it strengthens the arm muscles and maintains body posture. It helps balancing the body. It also helps in reducing the fat around the abdomen and chest. Sashtanga Namaskar Asana or Ashtanga Namaskar. This is done in Bahya Kumbha. You have breathe out and then holding it. It helps the spine and waist to become flexible and strengthens the arm muscles. It reduces the fat around the abdomen and chest. Next step is Bhujangasana. Here, Cobra pull. Now here what has happened? Here we are balanced the body. Both side muscles are equally stretched and contracted. Here some muscles are stretched, some muscles are contracted. Here totally these muscles are contracted, these side muscles are stretched. It helps the spine and waist to become flexible and strengthen the arm muscles and reduces fat around the abdomen and waist. Now here these muscles are contracted. So next pose is these muscles are stretched and head is down. So it's beneficial for spine and waist and arm muscles. It increases blood supply to the brain and helps in balancing the body. Parvatasana or Adhomukha Shvanasana. Then Ashvasanchalanasana. Again, same benefits you get is done in Purak. Padasthanasana or Hastapadasana. Here we are done in Rechak. Again, head is down. We are stretching all these muscles and these muscles are contracted. It helps to reduce the fat around the abdomen and waist, helps balancing and increases the blood supply to the brain. So you become fresh. Hastosthanasana or Hastottanasana. Again, same. We are done with Purak. The strengthens the muscle, chest muscles and helps to improve the respiration. And finally, Namaskarasana. It helps to balance the body. So here we have seen there were complementary steps so that no one single group of muscles is overstretched. All the muscles, group of muscles, they get equal activity of stretching and contracting. So their elasticity is maintained and it helps to keep the body flexible. So now coming to the how Surya Namaskar helps to improve the health. Now for good health, what is necessary? All the systems in our body should function normally. Now it is only possible when, suppose you take a digestive system, it consists of stomach, intestine, liver, spleen, gallbladder. So all organs should function properly. Now suppose you take one single organ, which is made up of basic unit cell. So that cell should function properly. So what is the requirement for health? That all cells in the body should function properly. And when it is possible, when cell will get constant supply of proper nourishment, it will get internal secretions of endocrine glands properly and effective removal of waste products. Healthy functioning of the nerve connection. So these are all the prerequisites for the normal functioning of the cell. Now, what are the nutritions? It consists of carbohydrate, proteins, fats, minerals, and vitamins. Now, this will depend upon the functioning of the digestive system. Second is the oxygen supply, which is given by the respiratory system. If it is functioning properly, you will get good oxygen supply. When it is possible, when lungs are healthy, respiratory muscles are strong, and respiratory passage is clean. And lastly, important, the elasticity of the alveoli. Now, digestion depends upon good functioning of stomach, duodenum, small intestine, large intestine, liver, and pancreas. Now, when you are performing different asanas, steps of Surya Namaskar, the abdomen is pressed or stretched. Now, when it is compressed or relaxed, the muscles, the intestine or viscera inside, they are compressed and relaxed. So the muscles of the intestinal wall, stomach, they contract and then relax. So that is a continuous massage to all these organs, which will improve the digestion. Now, food has been digested, nutrition has been ready, but it has to be sent to the cell, which is done by the transport of nourishment done by the circulatory system, which consists of heart, arteries, veins, and capillaries. Now, heart and arteries, the muscles of heart, arteries, they get a continuous massage when you are doing different steps of Surya Namaskar. Now, veins have got very weak walls. It gets compressed easily during different steps of Surya Namaskar, which helps or enhances the return of impure blood to the heart. And that is how the circulation remains continuous. Now, the nutrition has reached the cell. The metabolism has occurred. And the waste product has been collected into the cell. It has to be taken out, which is done by respiratory system, takes away carbon dioxide, digestive system throws out undigested toxic food, and kidneys throw out uric acid and urea. Now, all these things will happen only when the cell is getting the message from the brain, what function you should do. And this is done by the nervous system, which consists of brain, spinal cord, cranial, and spinal nerves. Now, in Surya Namaskar, there is a forward bend, backward bend, where all the total vertebral column is stretched forward, backward. So it improves the flexibility of the vertebral column, improves the blood supply to the brain and spinal cord, and it also improves the elasticity of the nerves and helps to give correct messages to all organs and muscles. So that is how the cell functions properly. And if cell is functioning properly, the organ is functioning properly. If all organs are functioning properly, system is functioning properly. And if all systems are functioning properly, you are healthy. And that is what you can achieve by practicing Surya Namaskar. So, summarizing the benefits of Surya Namaskar, it helps in reducing the fat around the abdomen and thus reduces sweat, enhances respiratory function, because the diaphragm which is there in between the chest and abdomen, if abdomen is full, the big tummy, this diaphragm cannot go down. But if the fat on the abdomen is dissolved, the area required for the intestine is less, and this diaphragm, which is separating the chest and abdomen, can go more down and you can breathe in more air. Then strengthens the heart and lungs, so the efficiency of respiratory and circulatory improves. It improves blood circulation of all the important organs of the body, improves flexibility and functioning of abdominal muscles, intercostal muscles, and other internal organs. It improves digestion and respiration. It tones up the muscles of spine, neck, shoulder, arms, hands, waist, spine, and wrist and leg, thereby promoting overall flexibility and a sense of well-being. It makes one calmer and boosts energy levels with sharpened awareness. It balances the body and mind and improves concentration power, reduces stress level. Psychologically, it regulates the interconnectedness of body, breath, and mind. It helps to keep you disease-free and healthy. If Surya Namaskar is practiced along with the Rechak and Purak and chanting the mantra, you will get better benefits. The way you think you become. Suppose I say, oh, you look like Amitabh Bachchan. So immediately what will happen? You will feel that he has become Amitabh Bachchan and you will start hearing the dialogues of Amitabh Bachchan. Similarly, if you pray the sun, the source of energy, that let me get powerful glow like you and powerful intellect like you, you become. यदि हम सूर्यदेव की प्रार्थना करेंगे, कहेंगे सूर्यदेव मुझे तेरे जैसा तेज मिले, मेरी बुद्धि पर तेरे जैसी प्रगल्भ हो, तो वैसी प्रक्रिया होती है, वैसे हम बनते हैं. So you start becoming like that. And that is why if you practice this, we can become healthy at physical and mental level. So Ramdas Swami has propagated this, thinking that all human beings should be physically fit, mentally fit, so they can perform their work very properly. So I hope, again, I'll just show you the steps of this Surya Namaskar, where we are exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, and their alternate complementary poses. If you practice this with chanting and with the help of Purak and Rechak, you can definitely keep yourself healthy. And if you are physically and mentally healthy, you can perform your job very well. And this will be a boon for the nation, that all the people who are practicing this, they are healthy and doing good work. So the government has propagated to do 75 crores of Surya Namaskar from 14 January till Ratha Saptami. So don't let after Ratha Saptami forget about it. Make it a daily routine to practice Surya Namaskar so that you will be physically and mentally fit and you will be good at your job. Thank you very much. I thanks all for listening it very patiently. Thank you. Hari Om.